The Tata Nexon's proven to be not just a great option for Indian car buyers, it's also been a boon for Tata Motors. Ever since its launch, the Nexon's sales have been on the rise, and it's down to, well, its value for money packaging, the fact that it has the charm of an SUV, and let's face it, it's pretty stylish as well. The only thing missing in this package has been the option of an automatic transmission, which now Tata Motors has introduced. So, here are 5 things you need to know about it. Now first up, let's get the technical details about the Tata Nexon AMT out of the way. So it comes with the same 1.2 litre petrol and 1.5 litre diesel engines. They make the same power, the same torque, which are delivered at the same rev figures, and the 6-speed manual gearbox on which the AMT is based, it has, at least on paper, the same ratios as well. What's changed is, of course, the addition of the AMT unit. It does come with the creep function, so you let off the brake and the idle torque pulls it forward. You also have the manual tiptonic mode for shifting gears manually when you need it to. You also get something that Tata calls hill start assist, but it's essentially an extension of the creep function. And it also gets, as per Tata's claims, anti-stall, which means the engine won't stall. But isn't that supposed to be a function of automatic transmissions anyway? Number 2, how do you identify one? Well, there aren't any drastic changes to the exterior, you just have the simple addition of this badge. So if you see the letter A, that's the automatic. That aside, Tata has also introduced the new Etna orange color option, which isn't going to be exclusive to the AMT and will be rolled out with the manual variants as well. It's being introduced in the top-end variant, but you can expect to see it in the lower variants eventually if Tata has enough demand for it. Number 3, now let's find out how the Tata Nexon petrol AMT drives. And I'll be honest, I've come in to drive this particular version with some preconceived notions. Because the 1.2 litre Revitron turbocharged petrol engine, well, in its manual guise, you did have certain problems. The mid-range, thumbs up. The top end, not bad at all. But as a commuter, you had to work around the turbo lag a bit. And yes, you did have to work the gearbox as well. And that aside, the throttle response didn't feel all that crisp. But with the AMT, those problems seem to have been solved because yes, the throttle response is crisp enough. The gear changes, they aren't too jerky. In fact, the head nod is kept to a minimum. It's a pretty easy drive inside the city, really calm and relaxing to use. And that aside, it doesn't really hold on to higher revs unnecessarily. At low speeds, you can stick to eco mode like I have right now. Just go gentle on the throttle and it's perfectly fine. I mean, the throttle response does dull down, but it doesn't go dead. So even before the turbo kicks in, you do have a decent torque reserve to amble about at city speeds. Once the paces go up, you can swap over to city mode like I have right now. And this will be particularly handy if, say, you're running with a full passenger load. So again, you're not really feeling that turbo lag as much as you do in the manual. When you're looking to have some fun, you can swap over to sport mode. What this does, it sharpens up throttle response, but again, it's not the jerky variety. It's really nice and linear, easy to manage, and plays a very important role either when you're driving on inclines or are looking to make high-speed overtakes. Finally, even with this petrol engine, the Nexon actually proves to be a decent tourer because even at 80 to 100 kilometers an hour, you're sitting at roughly the same revs as the diesel does. Problems, well, there are a few. For example, when you are at extremely low crawl speeds and you're crossing over, say, a very menacing looking speed breaker, as you're throttling out, you do get a slight bit of a judder. That aside, you also have some amount of AMT head nod, which isn't exactly unexpected. And finally, there's the manual mode. Yes, it's nice to have, but it is kind of set up on the conservative side. So right now, if I'm in second gear, shift down to first, and if I throttle up, it'll upshift by itself if you hold on to higher revs for too long or push it too hard. So not exactly the right transmission for an enthusiast, but not exactly unexpected either, is it? Number 4, how does the diesel AMT Tata Nexon drive? Well, essentially what this particular variant does is make up for the gaps that you had in the petrol. So the AMT head nod, it's not as noticeable because you obviously have the added dollop of torque that you get with the diesel engine to make up for, the slight bit of laziness that you'd have from the AMT unit. That aside, it doesn't judder at all at crawl speeds. It's also a lot more relaxing to drive because less throttle input needed even in city conditions, and of course, highway overtakes don't need as much planning. There is one problem that is common to both engines though, the hill start assist. like I said, is basically an extension of the creep function. And if you're on a sharp enough incline and the idle torque isn't enough, you will roll back. So don't rely on the hill start assist by itself. Don't forget to use the handbrake when it's handy. And number 5, should you buy one? Well, all we can say is that Tata's definitely taken its time to get the tuning of this AMT box just right. In the case of the diesel, it gives you the added convenience of an automatic transmission, while in the case of the petrol, they've actually managed to make it a better commuter car. If priced at a premium of rupees 40 to 45,000, the Nexon AMT will build on the Nexon's appeal as a value for money proposition.